you can still have religious beliefs independent of the Catholic Church. You can still do all of the things that you want to do in order to have your own personal relationship with God and stuff like that. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form they, in Canada, because I can't speak for other countries, should have religious exemptions. At this point, they should be just continuously paying reparations for the genocide of Indigenous people. That's all the Catholic Church, like, that's what their business in Canada should be focused on. That's it. And to the survivors of rapist priests across the United States, it would seem. Doesn't matter where the Catholic Church rears its ugly pedo head, there is child rape that is going down at incredibly high levels. Incredibly high levels. I want to talk about groomers, real ones. Sex abuse in the Catholic Church. Over 1,900 minors abused in Illinois, state says. A new report by the Attorney General of Illinois covering decades names more than 450 credibly accused sexual abusers, including priests and lay religious brothers. More than 450 credibly accused child sex abusers have ministered in the Catholic Church in Illinois over the last 7 decades. The Office of the State Attorney General, Kwame Raoul, said on Tuesday in an investigative report that is more than 4 times the number that the church had publicly disclosed before 2018 when the state began its investigation. I remember when I was fucking talking about sexual abuse in the church towards the Indigenous community during their genocide in Canada, and bringing up the fact that the actual numbers that are being released by the church, I believe, are dramatically underreported. And then it's wonderful that there's evidence to attest to that because, yes, they are downplaying the severity of how much they are raping children. The 696-page report found that clergy members and lay religious brothers abused at least 1,997 children since the 1950s in the state's 6 dioceses, including prominent Archdiocese of Chicago. The report adds 149 names to the list of child sex abusers, whom the dioceses themselves have publicly identified before or during the investigation. That brings the total number of identified abusers to 451, the report says. None of them are known to be active in the ministry, and at least 330 of them are believed to have died. The 149 new names are mostly religious brothers who are accountable primarily to the independent religious order rather than to the local diocese and bishops. Investigators interviewed hundreds of victims and matched their accounts with the diocesan records and other interviews to substantiate their accounts. Investigators also reviewed more than 100,000 pages of files held by the diocese and interviewed church leaders and their representatives. One case amongst the many documented the report involves Thomas Francis Kelly, a priest who abused more than 15 boys ranging in ages from 11 to 17 in several parishes between the 1960s and 1970s. Radio silence for Matt Walsh on all this shit. And if you're like, wait, why does Matt Walsh have to speak about this? Because Matt Walsh spends all day vilifying LGBTQ plus people as groomers for cash. Everyone at the Daily Wire does that. When the fucking groomers are as you see before you. And Matt Walsh has defended Catholic child rapists in the past. He's a pedophile defender. Matt Walsh says the pedophile scandal in the Catholic Church is not a pedophile scandal. The vast majority of victims are post-pubescent teens and young men. The real problem is the church that everyone sees and few will say out loud. Gay priests. The media has been trying to separate homosexuality from the Catholic Church scandal for years. This is nonsense, of course. The problem started precisely when they began admitting large numbers of homosexuals into the priesthood. As an example, the latest bigwig to be exposed is Cardinal McCarrick. He was accused of assaulting a child, but most of the stories that have come out about that him involve sexual relationships with Sumerians. That ain't pedophilia. He's a massive ass pedophile. It's fucking, yeah, that's, could not pick a worse example. Cardinal McCarrick, yeah, the fucking pedophile. Fucking child rapist. Wow. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Matt Walsh has no authority to speak on any issues related to this kind of shit because he defends pedophiles professionally. Again, disclosed by the church prior to the AG investigation, 100. Disclosed by the church soon after the AG investigation opened, so that bumped it closer to 200. Disclosed by the church during the AG investigation, getting closer to 350. By the way, this is them being like, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh yeah, okay, so there's a few more than we told you, okay? A couple, we may have forgotten just a couple names here and there, hundreds or so, disclosed by the AG in this report. The actual number, 451, I believe. The AG report on Bishop Paprocki, the far-right Bishop of Springfield, is especially damning. He claims the cover-up and reshuffling of pedo priests was done with virtuous intent and fought the Attorney General and victims every step of the way and remains openly defiant. Looking at the data, you'd expect Springfield to be a model diocese. Have to dig deeper to find out that Paprocki is straight up refusing to cooperate and disclose every single step of the way. What a fucking ghoul. Next time Paprocki gets himself in the news for demeaning anyone who's ever thought about voting for Democrat, be excommunicated or whatever, it should be required to print this alongside. And even now, the diocese list of substantiated child sex abusers does not include each of the cleric's parish assignments. Only the Illinois diocese to admit such vital information from the diocesan clerics. In 2019, the diocese explained its practice of excluding assignments or seeking to traumatizing parish communities that had no clue a priest assigned to their parish may have harmed children, and we do not want to re-traumatize communities where it may have been known that the priest was an abuser. In other words, the parishioners do not know a child sex abuser ministered at the parish, assignment information is withheld in order to protect them, and they do not know a child sex abuser administered at their parish, assignment information is withheld in order to protect them. Such logic is far from transparency. Bishop Paprocki claims to promote, and as for awareness, survivors of child sex abuse, the Attorney General investigators have spoken with Bishop Paprocki's concern for an understanding of survivor healing. I understand that people, and there's for some reason discourse from like 2007 rearing its ugly head in corners of the left right now, where people are trying to say that it's absurd for anyone to be a theist. How dare they? I am an atheist myself, and we all go through the edgy atheist phase. I didn't know that stuff was getting reignited. The Catholic Church specifically has so much fucking blood on their hands, the blood of children and the blood of colonialism. It is a horrifying institution. It should be rejected on every level. It should be disbanded for covering up for pedophiles. You can still have religious beliefs independent of the Catholic Church. You can still do all of the things that you want to do in order to have your own personal relationship with God and stuff like that. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form they, in Canada, because I can't speak for other countries, should have religious exemptions. At this point, they should be just continuously paying reparations for the genocide of Indigenous people. That's all the Catholic Church, like, that's what their business in Canada should be focused on. That's it. And to the survivors of fucking rapist priests across the United States, it would seem. Doesn't matter where the Catholic Church rears its ugly fucking pedo head, there is child rape that is going down at incredibly high levels. Incredibly high levels. And also, don't go after people just because they're religious. People can be religious. Some people, it brings them a closer sense of spirituality. Some people, it brings them fucking attachment to their family or their history. Whatever their reasons, let them be allowed to practice however they see fit. It's where they get a special exemption or want to pass laws related to religion that I have a very big problem. Yes, I will always fight that. I'm going to fight against a governance of the theocratic fucking fascists. Absolutely. 100%. But also let people have their things. Straight up telling a victim raped by one of the diocese priests that she's a bad Catholic for demanding a response from Paprocki. I almost hope Tommy is right about hell being real and the souls being damned for eternity, because he'd be the first in the fire pit. Of course, this fucking guy's statement is just, that's all in the past. I'm in charge now. Absolutely nothing about an official government investigative report, all but accusing him of trying to cover up past sexual child rape, by the way, and showing open disdain for survivors. Monsters. Absolute fucking monsters. And by the way, the fucking whataboutism, I already see it popping up there. Now show the public school teacher sexual abuse rate. Yes, and what about the other child rapists? Huh? What shall we say? Yeah, so that's bad too. That's if people are raping kids in schools, like if a woman is raping a fucking 14-year-old because no, that 14-year-old can't consent. Yeah, I don't think the New York Post should be posting photos and being like, nice. No, I think that's pedophile, and then she should probably face consequences for the pedophilia and the raping of the kids, that kind of shit. So no, I'm not here to support other pedophiles who appear in other walks of life. It's all bad. It's all fucking horrifying. Let's just see, for once, the right try and not venerate Catholicism as some kind of mystical, magical, spiritual connection with God and the holy authorities of eating someone's blood and drinking their blood so that they exist within inside you for all eternity. Super normal.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.